morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico, Kim Dezendorf back with us this morning. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am great.
Good. The weather's getting nicer.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is a good time of year to start working and getting bigs and little matches together.
Absolutely.
Now the weather's getting nicer. There's going to be people wanting to go out and do more things and all that kind of stuff. We got a lot going on in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, if you're looking for opportunities here to, grow and have some fun in your own life, but at the same time, mentor and add that to a child's life, now's the time of year to start, looking at that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's really, we're getting into the fun part of the year where, people think about vacations. People start planning and, it's nice out. Let's go out to the parks. Let's go take a walk or a bike ride or whatever, So all the things that work well with Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for folks that aren't familiar, Big Brothers Big Sisters, I think everybody's heard of it. It's an international program. It's a mentoring for children, and it really uses that partnership of a big brother or sister like person hanging out with a child and just incorporating them into their life. You're not trying to solve world peace. You're not trying to fix major big broken home. It's not, all you're doing is just being a positive influence in a child's life. That's all you are. Going out, hanging out with them, him or her going to restaurants or going to the library or just incorporating them into your life. You don't even have to necessarily plan these grand excursions. It's like, okay, I got my little this weekend. We're going to go whitewater rafting in the Colorado River, follow that up with, hiking this. You don't have to do all that. I mean, unless that's what you do. But, I mean, you don't have to create these things. It's more just saying, hey, it's Saturday. We got to go run a couple errands, and then we're going to go have lunch. Would you like to hang out with us? And so, they go shopping together and, pick up, maybe you got to get some hardware, some whatever. You go take care of business. And then afterwards, you're like, let's go have lunch or let's go see a movie or whatever. That's Big Brothers, Big Sisters at the end of the day. So, and one thing I also know, there's never been a time where you or anybody else from Big Brothers has come in here and said, we don't need any more bigs.
We always need big. We still have kids on our waiting list.
Yeah.
We get more referrals every day.
And I think it's been probably harder and worse over COVID time because, let's face it, the demand for mentorship has not decreased.
Right.
If anything, it's increased.
Right.
But the pool of people and the availability of people has decreased, certainly.
Yes.
And so now that we're kind of coming out of that world and hopefully almost full out of it, we're not quite, but we're getting there. And now's the time that we need to get these, especially with these kids that have been really without for these last couple years that really could have been using some mentorship right now. We got to play catch up a little bit. So we really, really want to, get a bunch of bigs, adults to look into their hearts and say, you know what, this is something I can commit to. Basically an hour a week, 4 hours a month is kind of that's just a guideline. There's no timesheets and, you only spent 57 minutes last week, so we got to do 63 next. It's none of that mess. It's just, that's just to give you a guide. One weekend you may spend 5 hours and then see each other 3 weeks later or next month. That's Big Brothers. But the whole thing is it's not a big commitment, time commitment. It really is just incorporating this youth into your life. That's all it is. So
yeah, it's just really all about quality time. It's about spending time with that kid and letting them know that they're important to you and giving them some positive influence.
Absolutely. And I would also offer that this isn't because some people confuse this with at-risk kids and all that. No, these kids come from every single walk of life. Some are foster kids. Some come from two-parent home. Some come from a single-family home. Some come from a low-income family. Some come from middle or pretty affluent. Money's not a problem. It's really these children just need a mentor in their life. Maybe mom and dad work crazy hours and don't get to spend as much time, so they want something else in the life for the child. Or maybe it is a single parent and they're looking for a male or female role model in their life for that child. Maybe it's Maybe it's just, hey, I got a kid who's got a lot of energy and I'm kind of tired and I'd like to have another person to kind of work with this kid and give, teach and show this child things that they don't listen to me about or they don't understand about. And when I say that too, it's not like you're teaching these kids but they're going to be like, if there's problems in school or if they got friends, you're being the mentor. I remember when I was in school, we had this and you kind of, that's what it is. You just share your experience of being adult with them as they navigate growing pains. You know what I mean? And that's kind of part of the deal too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and a lot of times and most people who are parents know this, that your kids aren't always going to listen to you.
That's right.
And sometimes it's beneficial to have that outside person who just to be a buddy that maybe like the kids listen to them.
Sure.
Or talk to them when they want to the parents.
Well, and and I get this because especially as they get to teenage age, when they start, making more challenges as they get older. That's just part of growing up. That's what they do. But you're right. There's that point where if the child is like, oh, the parent's just saying this to get me to not do it, not that, and now sometimes even when you said the exact same thing that other person said, it rings true because now they're like, oh, my parents, they're just trying to stop me from doing it. This person doesn't have that same agenda. Maybe I should listen. You know what I mean? So so it's just sometimes it's just reinforcing what the parents are teaching and doing that. So, but that's what it is. It's fun. And here's the great thing: there's a great support system. I know there's a lot of people thinking, I don't know if I got them. I don't know how to handle. I can barely take care of myself. And it's not. It's really not. It's just you hanging out with a kid. That's all there is to it. And when you get those areas where you have roadblocks where you feel like you're not making a connection or you're like, I don't know what to do. That's where you and your folks and the other bigs and little pairings, it's all a family and really help and come and work. And so when you got, someone and you're needing to bounce ideas or you're having issues, reaching to somebody or something like that, you've got experts, people that this is what they do for a living. This is what they're trained in to help foster those kinds of things and to help you through that process. So,
absolutely.
And here's the other ancillary part of it. I know I'm doing all the talking here, and Kim's like, I should do this. Okay, but the other part that's really important about that is, this is a program to mentor youth. What happens is the bigs get just as much mentorship or gain as much value out of this because it puts their own lives in perspective. It forces adults to see life through someone else's eyes for a little bit, and sometimes that gives you a different perspective on things. And so I know as adults we get set in our ways sometimes, and it's easy to do. I'm no different, and I'm not saying that's always a bad thing. However, sometimes when you get that way, you can't see the forest from the trees, and now bringing that child into your life kind of opens that eye a little bit and says, oh yeah, I did get a little tunnel vision on certain things. And that's so it's just as big a growth for the big as it is for the little, in my opinion.
Yeah. We've got lots of bigs that have said to us that, I got into this thinking I want to help kids and I got more out of it than I think the kid ever did. Yeah. It's sometimes just seeing life, like you said, through the eyes of a child can be really eye-opening sometimes for us.
It is. We get, well, and as adults, we I don't know what happens. I don't know if whatever it is, but we lose our creativity and we lose some of that
sense of wonder about the world.
Yeah, when's the last time as an adult we sat and looked and something was just blown away or amazed or just wrapping? I mean, it's not very often anymore. Right. It's kind of, we live in a world where you're either very cynical about something or not impressed by it. But a child, that's a different thing. The first time they hear about, what do you mean this movie or whatever, just something that they've never been exposed to before and they see it. I mean, it's kind of, and then we even tend to forget, like the first time we saw things and that emotion and feeling we got from it. And you just get to re-experience that with a kid. And then when you have it, you're like, oh yeah, I did that too. And you said, so yeah, it really is. It keeps you young too. I think that's another thing. If you're, sometimes as we get older, and especially if you raised your kids and they're, now being adults themselves and you want to slow down, but sometimes you get set in your ways, and you're like, and you need that little reminder of, and if they haven't brought you grandkids yet, so you definitely need that reminder that, what those little kids are. But I think, that's the great thing about it. And here's another thing too. There's different ways to do this. I know, like, you'll have married couples that work together as big, or, maybe they each have their own big or little, or maybe they share one. It just depends on the scenarios and things. But that's a possibility. So it's not like you going in it alone. If you want to get your family involved, awesome. That's a good thing. We want more people involved. We want to get those folks. I know in the past, males are usually a little more scarce than females as far as bigs. Is that still true?
Yes, we still need guys more than we need girls.
But don't let that deter women. You are wanted and needed just as much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We would have. And remind me again. I know that kids go to 18, but what the age do they are eligible to be in the program?
It's from 6 to 17 or 18.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Till they're
right,
legally adults.
Right. But they at 6 years old is where the beginning.
And although I would argue that even though you have a lot of big littles that turn 18 and the pairing formally ends, informally continues on for the rest of life in a lot of cases.
Absolutely.
There's so many times where they follow each other, especially when the kid, the little, who's not a little anymore, starts hitting those milestones in life, graduating from high school or college, and maybe their marriage or their first child, or, things. They start celebrating those moments, their life moments, with them.
Right.
In those, because they were part of the early life moments. And that's not uncommon to happen.
Yeah.
Especially in the world we live in now with social media, and, everything's is a chat text away. It's kind of, it's easy to do that now, or easier to do that.
Right.
So. But it's a great program. It really is, and I should probably let you talk more.
You're doing a great job.
People yell at me for that, but I get behind the thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, and another thing, and another thing. Yeah, that's my brain and how it works. But and that's the thing, because I imagine you get that all the time, where you get people that kind of come in dipping a toe or a little apprehensive. And then they hit a moment or something, and next thing you know, they're bit, and they're, I imagine you see that moments all the time where bigs go from like nervous, apprehensive to next thing you know, the light just whatever clicks, and then that happens. I imagine that's for you as a worker here with Big Brothers. I imagine that's probably one of the cooler parts of your job.
That is. It's super cool. And especially when we have, you have the ones that, like, their little ages out, and then you see that they're still friends. But not only that, the big is just so into the program after having had a little, that they're like, no, give me another one.
Right, you're right.
Mean, we have bigs that have gone through, 3 and 4 littles at this point,
because
and are still maintaining the relationships with their prior littles. It's amazing to see.
That is cool. I wonder if some of the littles, like, in essence, become friends with the other littles, or at least a mini mentor in and of itself a little bit. Like, oh yeah, so-and-so was my big, and now you're going to be your big, you're in good hands, and all that kind of thing.
Well, and we've had several littles that after they've grown up, they've come back and like, I want to be a big, And
that's probably your best customer base, is when you that full circle moment where children were littles in the program, and they see firsthand how it benefited their lives. And now that they're on their own and established and, adults, they're like, it's time for me to pay that forward and be the big and start that match, and hopefully give another child the same opportunities they got when they were little.
Absolutely.
So, and that's how Big Brothers works and Big Sisters work.
Yep.
It's just what about fundraising, things like that? Any of those kind of local stuff we want to get on people's radar right now? I know that's still a little slippery slope.
Right. Well, we had talked about the last time we were in about our merger.
Yeah.
That's going to be happening. And I think just kind of with all those moving parts happening right now, we do plan on having a ball for kids' sake.
Okay.
But I I think it's probably going to be towards the later part of the summer.
Okay.
We haven't.
Instead of the spring, we'll do it in the summer here. Okay.
Right. We have, and because we did have a Bowl for Kids Sake in October.
We did a Halloween time frame, yeah.
Right. And so that's kind of was pretty recent for us. So we'll be
Don't want to do it right on the heels of that.
Yeah. And so we'll have more information on that,
But in the meantime, if you start wanting to form in your teams and all that for Bowl for Kids Sake, please do. But in the meantime, if you'd like to contribute and help out financially, if you go to the local Big Brothers Big Sisters website, which is a bunch of B's and S's, it's www.bbssenm.org. Or just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters Roswell. It's the first initials of every Big Brothers Big Sisters Southeast of Mexico. That's what it is. But go there and you can learn all about the program, but you'll find a link if you want to donate money or help that way because as Bill Wolf always said, they need two things: bigs and bucks.
Bigs and bucks.
And
right.
if you aren't able to be a big and you want to help, donating money is an awesome way to help out too because. On average, and this may have gone up in the world we live in, but on average, it's about $1,500 to make a match and to sustain it for a year. And that includes the background checks that are involved and then just the program, the pairing, the matching, all the cost of doing all that, not to mention, the activities and things that happen once the match is made and all that. But $1,500, that's what it costs Big Brothers per match on average each match there, and they got more than one. We want a bunch. The idea is to have a bunch of them. So the more money you contribute, the easier it is for these matches to thrive and things. So when we talk about Bowl for Kids Sake here this summer, that's going to be another fun way for folks to get. If you've never participated in that, start getting your teams together now. 4-person bowling team. Five-person bowling team. And if it's like the years past, they ask that the team raises a minimum of $500. And then the actual day of bowling is just fun bowling and costumes and lights and prizes and food and all that. The real work is the months leading up where you're trying to raise money for your team, trying to get as much sponsorship money as you can. So at the end of the day, Big Brothers and Big Sisters has a big chunk of change to keep the lights on, to keep the matches happening. Because the great thing about that money, it goes to their general fund, which means they can use it for wherever is needed. If it's needed to make a match, they can make a match with it. If it's needed to pay the electric bill, then they can pay the electric bill. If it's needed to buy new equipment for whatever, then it can do that. Whereas they get money from different other venues to help, but it's usually grant or earmark money. And it's like, this is specifically for matches, or this is specifically for program X. And so this gives them the freedom to kind of do what they will where it's needed best for those funds. So it's a great way to contribute too. I know something you guys did. I don't know, is it something that will be back or may not? There's the bins around town that you guys had pre-COVID. Is that something that you might be able to bring back, or is that still
I still have not heard anything from that.
Okay.
I know because those bins are actually managed
it's a partnership,
right, and it's from the Central New Mexico office.
Okay.
And they have a store up there, and I don't think any of that's really gotten back quite.
The COVID's still interrupting those operations until they get that back up and running.
Right.
Hold on to your stuff. And but that's a great way. Before people could donate, small appliances, toys, things that are still serviceable. And in essence, Big Brothers Big Sisters get paid by the pound for this stuff, and they turn around and sell it at the thrift stores, I guess up north there.
Yes.
And Big Brothers Big Sisters gets basically a per pound check based on how much was in there, and they get to use that for programs and things. So unfortunately, that's not happening right now. So if you'd like to help out, best way to do is go to the website, donate, or come by the office, or sign up to be a big. That's that's another way to get involved here. And another thing I want to mention. If you do desire to be a big, if you walked into the office today, you're not going to be, all right, here's your little, good luck with you. That's not how it works. There's a lot of pre-match work to be done. And it could, I'm not going to lie, it's a little tedious by design, because we want to get it right. Once we do the background checks to make sure everyone's, criminally, everything's above board there, then it's like Match.com or something. You're really trying to pair. Because again, it's not just here's a big, here's a little. shake hands and good luck to you. That's not how it works. You try to pair the big and little with common interest, common desire, something that they, they mesh well with, so they've got a chance to make a connection there. So, so you're going to answer a lot of questions about yourself and your personality and what you like and what you're into and all that stuff. And so Kim and her folks can sit down and find a little that would mesh with that. And now, granted, she's not going to find a clone of you. That'd be a little weird. But but if you both have, say, a love of reading or a love of hunting or a love of crafting or whatever it is, maybe that's something that y'all can connect with or something like that. Or maybe the little loves to paint or draw, and you're like, well, that's what I do. That's my hobby. So, all right, let's do that together,
Yeah.
Or maybe the kids, I love to, or maybe, a lot of times you get kids that always want to do stuff they never get to do. Like I've always wanted to go camping, and I've never had the chance to go camping. You go camping every weekend. All right, well, maybe that's our match thing. I can help bring this kid into showing him the outdoors a little bit. Doing all that's big brothers, big sisters. Yeah. But there's a whole period of you guys finding that stuff out before the match is made, and then after probably a couple months of that going on, then you make your matches and away you go.
Right. And it is a process. It will take sometimes several months. And honestly, like you talked about the assessments and everything that we do, trying to make sure that we find a big and a little that have things in common. Just because we have 20 littles and 20 bigs doesn't mean we have 20 matches.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we pair them in such a way that they have commonalities and that they have,
Because if you don't, and you just put them together, and that doesn't flourish, then you've probably done more damage than good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why that the time is spent, the dedication is spent in that moment to make sure you get it right, so it does have the best percentage to succeed on the other side. And that's what it's all about. And you train as well too. It's not like you just say, all right, you're big, congratulations, here's your little. No, you give them advice, you give them training on ways to connect and ways to kind of interact and engage and how to kind of tips and ideas to how to help make the match flourish as well from your side. Maybe you're not one that hangs out around kids all the time. So maybe you don't you don't see every day on how kids think and work. So big brothers can help you with that and say, well, yeah, in your head that makes sense, but to a child it's this way, and that's why we do it this way. So you get all that training.
Yes.
Again, you don't get turned loose without the armor to be equipped to do all that stuff.
Right.
So.
Yep. Yeah, because our staff is all degreed professionals. They're all have degrees in the social work fields, so they're highly qualified to give that advice and that training.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah, that's what they do for a living. This is what they do every day, and they're pretty good at it. So
yes,
let them do it.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They really are.
Just curiosity right now, ballpark numbers. Right now, off the top of your head, do you know how many littles are waiting for bigs in Chavez County right now?
It's about 32, I believe. Right? So yeah,
we could use 30 adults, and that's without matching. That's just sheer numbers that are right now, right out the gate. And in all odds, it's really more than that. That's because, like you said, the odds of you finding 30 adults and match the 30 kids, you know what I mean? That doesn't work that way. And again, every single child gets that same attention to detail, and every single match does. So 50, 60, 100 of y'all, come on down and start, reaching out, and let's put Kim to work here. Kim's like, well, they put me busy real quick.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That would be a good problem to have, where we've got a list of adults that are lined up, ready to step up and be involved with this. Any updates on the school program stuff? Is nothing new there, or still on hiatus?
Nothing new there.
I know that's more on the school end. But.
Right. And I'm thinking that, we're still watching and seeing what's going on with the COVID restrictions and all that. I know they just did away with mask mandates for indoors, but that didn't, I think it was up to the school systems. Sure. Right. Whether or not they wanted to still implement that. So, we're kind of it's kind of a wait and see of what the restrictions are going to be. Okay. And
well, maybe I'm hoping in the fall, when it's a new school year,
that's what we're hoping.
Maybe they can start instilling it back in the new school year in the fall here.
Yeah, because that was that was a great program.
Yeah.
And just the COVID restrictions have made it to where we
I know
can't
you guys
do
had
it.
a big success. Yeah, especially like because in essence what it is, it's 16, 17-year-old high school students get an opportunity to be bigs in an after-school program. They, if it was, or
I don't think it's after school. No, it was the one we had in Dexter was high school bigs, and they would go over to the elementary school and meet with their littles, but it was during the day.
Oh,
and we
okay.
actually offered a class
okay.
for the high school kids to take. That they got a credit
So it was part
for.
of like their curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It was a
I was thinking
great
there's one where
program.
they kind of came and hung out with them after school, like some of the NIMI.
We did have that.
Okay.
We had the cadets. I think it was with what is the
Military Heights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was an after school thing.
But those are great programs because in essence, these kids turn into rock stars. They go in there and these elementary kids look, especially if the kid's like a football player or something like that, they kind of like, ooh, or especially those uniforms from NMMI. When those kids rolled in those uniforms, the kids turned ahead when they saw it, and were instant rock stars when they walk in these rooms and stuff. And I know the teenagers get a kick out of it, but in essence, this is some of their training too, because they're now getting transitioning into that part where they're learning their way, but they're learning to be leaders in and of themselves. And so this is some of that, getting them to see to people that need to be mentored and led, and instead of being the ones mentored, they're the ones mentoring. And this is kind of early experience for them to do that too, first time. So it really is a great learning experience for all involved there too. So, but hopefully in the fall we can talk more about those programs here. But in the meantime, if you're interested in learning more about Big Brothers Big Sisters, check out the website www.bbbssenm.org. Or if you don't remember any of that, just type in Big Brothers Big Sisters, Roswell, Chavez County in the Google search, and that website will pop right up. You can also follow on Facebook, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico. I encourage you to like and follow that page. That way you can stay up to date for any events, any updates on Bowl for Kids' Sake or any of these other programs. If they start getting making some headway in the schools again for those, you can find out through there. But if you also have questions, you can reach out, and Kim or whoever monitors the Facebook page will get that to you.
Yes.
So, and what's the phone number over at the office here if they...
It is 575-627-2227.
Which is BBBS.
Yes.
If you can't remember the numbers, but remember the letters.
627-BBBS.
Very good. Just out of curiosity, as far as employment goes, I know the whole world's always looking for people. Do you guys are looking for professionals, paid people as part of it now? Or are you guys staffing-wise okay?
We're okay staffing-wise.
Okay.
But probably after the summer is over, that's going to change.
Okay. So
we'll keep you guys up to date on that.
All right. So if there's maybe some aspiring college folks right now want to get into social work, things like that, maybe you're going to graduate here in the summer. Maybe Big Brothers might be looking to recruit you to come make better people in our communities.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
We're hoping to grow our programs so that we just need all the staff.
Well, that's the idea,
Yes,
right? We want
absolutely.
it. We would love it. So there's 50 kids waiting. There's 60 adults on the other side ready to step in and help. That's kind of because let's face it, the need's never going to go away. It just isn't. And the hardest part of this whole thing, I think, to me, at least from my head, I'm thinking the part that's the hardest part is when these kids are in the program and they're waiting for their big. Like these kids, especially with COVID. I'm sure some of these kids have been waiting a long time.
Yes.
And it's not the kids' fault. And we as adults have to keep telling them that. And because, when someone's saying, sorry, we don't have someone that wants to hang out with you, I mean, I don't care who you are. It's going to mess with you a little bit.
Right.
And so we want the kids to understand, no, it's not you. It's just we need to get the adults that come in. Once they meet you, they're going to love you. But we got to get them to meet you. That's the thing here, and so, but that's got to be hard for those kids to and I mean, think about it. How many kids can wait patiently on Christmas morning? None. Right. Zero. to tell them they got a big coming and they got to make them wait a year. I mean, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have had, some of our staff that have had to deal with, trying to help them understand why they don't have a big yet,
So the only way we can fix that is for you, the community, to step up and be bigs. Come on out. Let's stop making these kids wait, and let's start signing up to be bigs here, and hopefully we don't have any more kids waiting a year plus to get their bigs. They can the couple month process it takes to normally would take for it to make the match. Let's just do that and then be good to go. So, but the only way we can do that is for you, the community, to step up and volunteer. Call, come by. Just ask questions. If you know some people that are already in the program, talk to them. Talk about what they do. Talk about how, what it's like and all that kind of stuff. And then I think you'll find, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, Kim, is there anything that I just crowbarred all in and didn't get a chance for you to talk about that you want to make sure we get in there?
No, I think we've covered all of it.
Good deal.
Again,
check out the website, check out the Facebook page, and really see what Big Brothers Big Sisters have to. And of course, as always, if you know a child that could use the mentorship, anybody can recommend. Parents, teachers, guidance counselors, youth leaders, things like that. All can recommend youth that would be good candidates for Big Brothers Big Sisters. If you know someone like that, reach out.
Yes.
And we'd be happy to help them too.
Absolutely.
So, very good. Well, thank you, Kim. We'll let you get back to work. I'm sure you got a bunch of fires to put out, so we'll let you do that, and we'll see you next time, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right. Take care.
All right.
It is